At my husband's funeral, I got a text from an unknown number. I'm alive. Don't trust anyone. The church bells tolled slowly, deep and mournful, as rain soaked the crowd gathered around Michael Carter's grave. Black umbrellas swayed. Faces were wet with tears, though not all were real. Emily Carter stood still, clutching the folded funeral program with trembling hands. His name stared back at her. Beloved son, cherished brother, devoted husband. Her heart broke at that last part. To her, it was true, but to his family, it was a lie. Behind her came whispers. She trapped him. She was nothing before Michael. Poor boy, ruined by a gold digger. Emily's eyes burned, not from grief, but from humiliation. The Carter family never accepted her, especially his mother, Margaret, tall, elegant, and as cold as winter marble. When the priest finished, the coffin was lowered into the ground. Emily closed her eyes, whispering a final goodbye, until her phone buzzed in her hand. She hesitated, but the vibration wouldn't stop. She glanced down and froze. I'm alive. Don't trust anyone. Her heart stopped. The world tilted. Michael was supposed to be dead. Margaret's sharp voice broke her trance. Wipe your face, dear. People are watching. Emily hid the phone quickly, her breath shaking. Something wasn't right. Something dark was unfolding. Hello, family, welcome back. Before we go on, I have a small but heartfelt request. Please subscribe. Your support keeps these stories alive and helps us share voices that matter. Tell us where you're watching from, because together we keep hope alive. That night, Emily sat alone in her small apartment, staring at her phone. She reread the message until the words blurred. Alive. Don't trust anyone. The next morning, a knock startled her. Daniel, the family lawyer, stood in the doorway, holding a sleek briefcase. Margaret wants to settle things peacefully, he said smoothly. Sign these papers and you can walk away quietly. Emily's stomach turned. And if I don't? Daniel leaned closer, his voice dropping to a cold whisper. Then we stop asking nicely. Accidents happen, Emily. Don't make yourself one of them. Her eyes filled with tears, but she refused to look away. Michael would never forgive you for this. Daniel smiled darkly. Michael isn't here to forgive anyone, is he? When he left, Emily collapsed onto the floor. Her fear slowly hardened into something else. Anger. If Michael was truly alive, then she had to find him. Later that night, another text arrived. They're watching you. She couldn't breathe. She couldn't sleep. Days passed like smoke. Emily kept the message secret, pretending to mourn while her mind raced. She began noticing strange cars outside her building. Whispers followed her wherever she went. One afternoon, her old friend Clara found her sitting in a cafe, pale and shaking. Emily, you can't keep living like this, Clara said softly. If Michael's really alive, you need help. Emily nodded weakly. Clara slid a note across the table. There's a private investigator, Harris. He doesn't scare easily. That evening, Emily met Harris in a small diner. He was in his 50s, quiet but sharp-eyed. So, he said, stirring his coffee, you think your dead husband is alive? Emily showed him the message. Not think. No. Please find him. Harris studied her for a moment, then nodded. Once I start digging, there's no going back. I'm ready, Emily whispered. Days passed in silence until one night Harris returned with a small recorder. I found something, he said. Emily pressed play. Michael's voice, trembling, alive. Emily, it's me. They're holding me. They want me to marry Victoria Hale to save the Carter Empire. Please, don't believe them. I love you. Her tears fell freely. Michael, she whispered, clutching the recorder. From that night, Emily lived for each secret message Harris smuggled out. Michael's notes, short recordings, desperate whispers of love and fear. But then came one that shattered her heart. "Emily," Michael's voice trembled. "They've set the date." 3 weeks. "They're forcing me to marry Victoria. Please, stop them." Emily dropped the phone, gasping. "No, they won't take you from me again." She began to fight back. She wrote down every threat, every suspicious call, every shadow that lingered near her door. Harris noticed the change in her. "You're not the same woman I met in that diner," he said quietly. "No," Emily replied. "That woman died when they buried Michael." But Margaret Carter was watching. Her silence made them nervous. One night, 2 men in black suits waited outside her apartment. "You've been quiet, Mrs. Carter," one said with a smile. "Stay that way, or next time we won't just talk." They left her trembling, and moments later, Harris burst in. "They've made their move." "We move faster." Emily's eyes burned with fury. "Then let's finish this." 3 days later, Harris arrived breathless. "It's happening." The wedding. Tomorrow, Emily's pulse raced. "Then we crash it." The next morning, the Carter estate gleamed like royalty. White roses, gold chandeliers, press cameras flashing. Michael stood at the altar beside Victoria Hale, pale and hollow-eyed. Margaret smiled proudly from the front row. Daniel whispered orders, ensuring the perfect Carter image remained untarnished. Then the church doors slammed open. Gasps filled the hall. Emily stood there in black, rain dripping from her hair, fire blazing in her eyes. Behind her, Harris and 2 detectives. "Stop this wedding," her voice rang out. All heads turned. Michael's eyes widened. Margaret's face twisted. The detective stepped forward, showing his badge. "We have a warrant." Emily lifted her phone, playing a recording. Margaret's voice filled the room. "Sign the papers and walk away quietly, or end up like Michael cameras flashed." Guests murmured in shock. Then Daniel's voice came next. "This isn't optional. Accidents happen." The crowd erupted. Margaret's face went white. "That's fake!" she screamed. Michael stepped forward, his voice shaking. "It's true. They faked my death, locked me away, tried to make me marry for money. Emily risked everything to find me." The detectives moved in. "Margaret Carter, Daniel Hayes, you are under arrest for fraud, coercion, and conspiracy." The guests gasped. Margaret screamed as the cuffs clicked around her wrists. Daniel tried to run, but Harris blocked him. The Carter empire collapsed right there in front of everyone. Michael turned to Emily, tears in his eyes. "You saved me." She smiled weakly, tears spilling down her face. "I never stopped fighting for you." As the police dragged Margaret and Daniel out, Emily stood tall for the first time in months. The whispers that once mocked her were now silent. Michael took her hand. "It's over." Emily shook her head gently. "No, it's just beginning. But this time, we face it together." They walked out hand in hand into the rain. Free at last. Love had survived the grave, the lies, and the power that tried to destroy it. Emily Carter, once the widow mocked by the world, was finally vindicated. Not by money, but by truth. And as the rain washed over her face, she whispered, "We're free."